Imagine sitting in a small interrogation room, a metal table, a flickering light, a detective asking one simple question. Tell us what happened. At first, there's silence. Then slowly, the truth begins to come out. Confessions can reveal the darkest corners of the human mind. Some criminals break quickly, others confess in ways that leave investigators stunned. Tonight, we're looking at 8 of the most chilling interrogation confessions ever recorded. The number 1 confession in this video left investigators completely stunned. Some of these criminals spoke calmly, some showed no remorse, and some revealed details so disturbing that even seasoned detectives were shaken. Number 8. The killer who smiled. In one case, detectives were interrogating a suspect connected to multiple disappearances. At first, he denied everything. Hours passed. Then suddenly, he leaned forward and calmly said, "You're looking in the wrong place." The room went silent. When detectives asked what he meant, he began describing where the victims were buried in exact detail. But what disturbed investigators the most wasn't what he said. It was how he said it. He was smiling. Throughout the confession, he spoke casually, almost proudly, as if he were telling a normal story. Even the veteran detective later admitted, "I've interrogated killers before, but I've never seen someone smile like that." Number 7. The confession that lasted 12 hours. One interrogation lasted an astonishing 12 hours. The suspect denied the crime again and again, but investigators kept presenting evidence. Phone records, witness statements, surveillance footage. Eventually the suspect broke. But once he started talking, he couldn't stop. 4 hours, he described every step of the crime in painful detail. The planning, the moment it happened, and what he did afterward. Detectives filled notebook after notebook. When the confession finally ended, one officer reportedly said, "I wish I could forget what I just heard." Number 6. The calm confession. Sometimes the most chilling confessions are the quietest. In this interrogation, the suspect sat perfectly still. No emotion, no hesitation. When detectives asked if he committed the crime, he simply said, "Yes." No anger, no regret. He then described the entire event in a flat, emotionless voice. Investigators later said the calmness was deeply unsettling. One detective recalled, "It sounded like he was describing a trip to the grocery store." Number 5. The confession nobody expected. In another case, investigators were questioning a man as a witness, not a suspect. But during the interview, something changed. The man became nervous. His answers stopped making sense. Detectives pressed him harder. Suddenly, he blurted out, "I didn't mean for it to happen." The room froze. Detectives slowly realized the witness they had been interviewing was actually the killer. The confession had just revealed a truth nobody in the room had expected. Number 4. The laughing confession. One interrogation became infamous because of a chilling moment caught on tape. As detectives confronted the suspect with evidence, he suddenly started laughing. Not a nervous laugh, a full, disturbing laugh. Then he said something investigators would never forget. "You'll never understand why I did it." When detectives asked him to explain, he calmly admitted everything. But even as he described the crime, he continued laughing. The recording later became one of the most disturbing interrogation tapes investigators had ever heard. Number 3. The confession hidden in silence. In one case, a suspect refused to speak for nearly 6 hours. Detectives tried everything. Questions, evidence, even silence. Then finally, one detective asked a simple question. "Do the victims deserve answers?" The suspect looked down at the table and whispered, "Yes." Then he confessed. What followed was a quiet but devastating admission of guilt. The room was completely silent except for the suspect's voice. Number 2. The moment the truth slipped out. In another interrogation, detectives were carefully watching the suspect's reactions. They mentioned details about the crime scene. One small detail in particular. Suddenly, the suspect corrected them. "No, that's not where it happened." The room went silent. The detectives hadn't revealed the real location to anyone. By correcting them, the suspect had just exposed himself. Within minutes, he realized what he had done, and shortly after, he confessed. Number 1. The confession that shocked everyone. One of the most chilling interrogation confessions came from a suspect who initially seemed completely innocent. He was calm, polite, cooperative. Detectives almost believed he had nothing to hide. Then they presented one final piece of evidence. The suspect's expression changed instantly. After a long pause, he said, "All right, I'll tell you everything." What followed shocked investigators. The suspect calmly described the crime from beginning to end. But what disturbed detectives most was the final thing he said. After finishing the confession, he looked at the investigators and asked, "So, what happens to me now?" As if he had just finished telling an ordinary story. Interrogation rooms reveal truths that criminals often try to hide. But sometimes, the truth is far darker than anyone expects. These chilling confessions show just how unpredictable the human mind can be. If you enjoy deep dives into real criminal investigations, unsolved mysteries, and disturbing cases from around the world, subscribe to Crime Lens Stories. Because the next story might reveal secrets that were never meant to be discovered.